All right. Welcome to yoga in Melissa's house, your house. I'm going to ask you if you would like to find a comfortable place to start your practice. You can come into a comfortable seat. If you prefer, lay down. Perhaps you'd like to come into child's pose. Once you've arrived in that place, let's close the eyes and ground and center ourselves. Begin by taking a breath and paying attention to that breath, noticing the inhale, noticing the exhale. On the next breath, notice the ground under the body, the support of the ground. Using the next breath, notice the sensations against the skin, of the clothing, of the air. And noticing the sounds in your space. Continuing to breathe, noticing the breath. Sharing from today's pocket full of miracles. Things that we think of as solid are actually comprised mostly of space. The distance between the atoms in our body is like the distance between the earth and the sun. We are mostly space traversed by streams of energy. Our real body is made of light. That light radiates outward and affects things around us. In turn, we are affected by the light of others. Begin to feel like there is light from above, perhaps even the divine, radiating down over you, running through you, washing you clean of any negativity and revealing the light within your heart. And now feel that light expanding around you. It encases you in a cosmic egg of protection. Affirm that only loving thoughts can be released from your egg of light or penetrate from the outside. So today, as we practice, we will pay attention to the space that we create, pay attention to our light, and perhaps even come back to that image being encased in an egg of protective light. And if you'd like to create your own intention, your own dedication for our practice, please go ahead and do that now. Take another deep breath for yourself. With new breath, let's begin to move, finding ourselves in tabletop pose on our mats, hands and knees. Moving the body through cat and cow pose. Making the movement small at first, and then slowly starting to make the movement a little bit bigger, Maybe include rocking back and forth a little bit. Moving around to free up the back, the spine. To rejuvenate the back. If you've been sitting or laying down, this usually is a really feel good pose. If you'd like to move around more organically or push back through and into your child's pose, go ahead. I like to figure eight my body around through space. If you've been moving in one direction, switch, move the opposite direction. Staying for 3 more breaths. And on our next breath, let's come back to a neutral spine. Connect down through the hands into the pads of the fingers, pull the shoulder blades back. We're going to move into our downward dog. Coming first into a crouching dog. So we'll curl the toes under, lift the knees off the floor, keep the knees bent, start to press the chest towards the thighs with bent legs. Let the head hang heavy. If it's okay, your neck is healthy, you can shake the head gently. Breathe in this little crouching dog, and then slowly start to lengthen out the legs if you like. Staying here for several breaths. If you like, we can pedal the feet. Send one heel to the ground as the opposite heel lifts. On the next breath, switch. Send the opposite heel to the ground as the opposite heel lifts. Continuing to breathe, continuing to move and open. Good. Let's do 2 more breaths. And move to the top of the mat. On the next breath, bend the knees back into that crouching dog. And then step, hop, or float into forward fold Uttanasana. Bend the knees a lot here. Grab opposite elbows or do whatever you like with your hands. Once again, the head and the neck are going to hang heavy on the back, tractioning the spine forward in space. Visualize breathing in through the bottoms of the feet, up the back body, exhaling down and out through the arms and through the crown of the head. Now from here, we could come up to standing, but instead we're going to come back down into our tabletop pose. So place the hands on the floor or on the blocks, and then slowly start to return to hands and knees. From here, we're going to come into our spinal balance, extend the right leg, lift the toes off the floor, extend the left arm. Good. And now exhale, elbow and knee together. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale together. Inhale out. Exhale together. Inhale out. Place the hand on the floor. And now draw the knee to the right elbow. Look to the knee. Take it back behind the body. Twice more. Good. One more time. Good. And then just move the hip around in the hip socket in one direction, and then move it around in the other direction. Good. Come back to stillness, come back to center, spinal balance on the other side. Extend the left leg, flex the foot, lift the toes off the floor, keeping the core engaged. Extend the right arm straight out in front of the body. Take a breath in, exhale, elbow and knee come together. Inhale, extend out. Bringing the elbow and knee together for 2. And one more time. And this time, place the hand back on the ground. Look over the left shoulder. Draw the left elbow and knee together. Extend the left leg back behind the body. 3 times. Good. One more time. Perfect. And now bend the knee again. Do some hip circles in one direction. Move it around in the other direction. Don't worry if it's crunchy. Mine is crunchy. And release. Let's move to the top of our mats now through downward dog. So curl the toes under. Inhale, lift the knees up, press the chest towards the thighs, stretch the body out. Good. Look towards the hands, bend the knees, move the feet back to forward folding. Let's pause here to notice for a moment how this forward fold feels after having already done it. Maybe it feels the same. Maybe it feels a little more open, a little more comfortable. Maybe you always just hate forward folds. That's okay. As long as it's not harming you, it's okay to do it. With new breath, slowly come up to standing. Let the head be the last thing that comes up as the blood pressure is adjusting. Good. When we arrive in standing, come into Tadasana with the arms beside the body, palms facing forward, or find Pranamasana with the palms together at heart center. Whatever you like, stand up tall, press down through the feet. If you can, grip into the toes. Draw the belly in. Press the shoulders away from the ears. Lift up through the back of the neck to the top of the head. And we'll start Ujjayi breathing by closing the mouth, slightly constricting the throat, and breathing audibly in and out through the nose. As we breathe, breathing into the cosmic egg of light that's encasing us, providing us with protection and loving thoughts. Using that light to help nourish us and create space for healing and for growth. Let's begin sun salutations with the next inhale. Lift the arms up. Forward fold. As we exhale, step the right foot back, come into low lunge, drop the knee to the ground, send the pelvis forward, lift the gaze. Step back to plank pose, top of a push-up position. Lower to the floor, knees, chest, chin, and then slide onto the belly. Now open the front body in Cobra or Sphinx. On the exhale, downward dog. Press back, curl the toes under, sweep the hips up and back. Release the right foot from the floor. Swing the right foot up between the hands to low lunge. Drop the back knees and the pelvis forward, lift the gaze. Gathering up the body and bringing our feet together, step to forward fold. Use the inhale to return to standing. Reaching the arms up over the head, stretching upward through the fingertips. Exhale, the hands into the heart space, drawing energy back into ourselves for revitalization. Lead with the left foot this time. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold. Step the left foot back. Low lunge. Plank. Knees, chest, chin. Ashtanga Namaskara. 8-point bow. Open the front body. Cobra, Bhujangasana or Sphinx. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, curling the toes under as we send the hips back and then sweep the hips back and up into the dog pose. Release the left foot from the ground, swing it up between the hands, come back to low lunge. On the next breath, forward fold in Uttanasana. Step both feet together. Have the sense of gathering up your energy as you come into forward fold. And inhale, returning up to standing, stretching the arms over the head. Exhale, float the hands back down to the heart space. Beautiful. Take a breath. Hear the sound of your breath as you continue your Ujjayi breathing. Two rounds of Surya Namaskar A. On the next breath, inhale, reach the arms up. As we exhale, coming to fold. Halfway lifting up with an inhale. Releasing to plank pose. Remember, you can always do plank pose on the knees. Engage the core as we lower chaturanga. Hug elbows to the side body. Open the front body in upward dog, cobra, or sphinx. Transitioning back now to downward facing dog. Take a breath. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Use the next breath to come to the top of the mat and fold forward. Inhale back up to standing, reaching the arms over the head. Hands come down to the heart space, and we pause for a breath. Beautiful. One more round. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, stepping or hopping into the plank pose. Engage the core, lower chaturanga, hug elbows, the side body. Open the front body. Shoulders away from the ears, downward dog. One breath. Come back to forward folding at the top of the mat with the next breath. Inhale back to standing. Reach the arms up. Exhale. Draw the hands down to the heart space. Take a breath. Good. Let's begin our warrior sequence now. On the inhale, reach both arms up. On the exhale, forward fold. We'll step back with the right foot and come into warrior one. Lift the arms, pull the shoulder blades down, and lift the arms up. Good. Now we're going to find eagle arms from here. So open the arms out to the side in a T. Cross the right arm over top the left and then bring the palms of the hands together. Good. Press the feet into the ground. Press the left knee forward a little bit. Open up through the upper back and shoulders. Beautiful. On the next breath, you can keep the arms here to come into your warrior three pose, or you can release the hands back to heart center. Let's find a little standing balance in warrior three. Release the arms, release the hands down to the floor. Let the back foot touch the floor, finding your balance. Drop the back knee, uncurl the toes if that's comfortable in your body. And then inhale, lift both arms up, taking Kali Mudra. So interlace all but the index fingers, reaching the arms overhead, sending the pelvis forward. Opening across the front body. Squeeze the right glute. One more breath. On the exhale, let both hands come down to the floor inside of the foot, and we'll find our lizard lunge. Move the left foot towards the long edge of the mat. Pick up the back knee. Rock the hips back and forth and around. Good. Drop the knee down, making a little bit more space. We can stay here or move down onto the forearms. Of course, if you have a deeper variation of the pose, go ahead. 5 breaths. Begin to release the pose on the next breath by bringing the body up. If you're down on the floor, we'll move the left foot behind us, coming into tabletop or into plank. Moving down to the ground through our chaturanga or our 8-point bow. Open the front body, landing ourselves in downward facing dog. Now we're going to take 3 breaths for ourselves. You can stay here in the dog pose or drop the knees to the floor, send the hips to the heels, and come into child's pose, Balasana. If you were in child's pose, go ahead, come back to down dog. And we'll all move together back to the top of our mat with the next breath coming to forward fold. Inhale ourselves back up to standing, reaching the arms over the head, floating the hands down to the heart space. Beautiful. Let's do that on the other side. With new breath, inhale to reach up the arms. Fold forward. This time, step the left foot back, warrior one. Feet are like they're on railroad tracks. Lift the arms up, reaching out, and then float the fingertips all the way up. Deepen the bend in the front knee. Good. And now let's come into our eagle arms variation of this pose. So you open the arms out to the side. This time the left arm crosses over the right. Bend the elbows, bring the palms of the hands together. And then just deepen the bend in the legs. Steady the feet by pressing them into the ground. Notice the sensations, especially across the upper back and the shoulders. Good. Finding warrior three. Again, you can release these arms or keep them as we stand and balance on our right leg, lifting the left toes up off the ground. On the next breath, we're going to release into a lunge. Bring both hands to the floor, put the back toes on the floor, slide the foot behind us. Good. And when we feel steady, you know we're making 4 points of contact, let the back knee hit the ground. Uncurl the toes in preparation for Kapiasana lunge. So you can inhale up both arms or go ahead, find Kali Mudra and then reach both arms up to open across the front body. This time we're squeezing our left glute as we feel this big C curve in the spine, in the body. Breathing space across the chest and the belly. One more breath. Beautiful. Release the pose on the next breath. Bring the hands to the floor on the inside of our right foot. Shift the right foot towards the long edge of the mat. Pick up the back knee. Slide the hips back and forth. Move the hips around. Good. Drop the knee and let's settle into lizard lunge on this side. One side may be different than the other. So even though you can lower to the forearms on one side, that may not be possible on the other side of the body. So keep that in mind. Be gentle with yourself. Stay for 5 breaths. The tendency in this pose is to look down at the floor, but try to lift the chin and look straight out in front of you like a lizard would. Staying here for one more full breath. Taking time, release the pose slowly. Coming back to tabletop or plank. You can rest in child's pose or find your flow. We'll all take a moment to come into child's pose. If you're not already there, hips to the heels. Option to stretch the arms out, fingers reaching towards the top of the mat. Or you can wrap the arms around the body and stretch the fingertips to the feet. In the child's pose, see if you can close your eyes. Come back into yourself. Mentally return to the image of being encased inside a cosmic egg of light. Nourished and protected by this light. Stay for one more breath. From child's pose, let's return to down dog. You can come straight there or stretch out the arms, pull the belly along the floor, moving into cobra first or sphinx, and then shifting to down dog. Make sure that there's a strong connection from the shoulders down into the arms, into the pads of the fingers, and the pads of the fingers are gripping down into the mat. Let the head, the neck relax. Coming into a warrior two sequence now. We'll start by finding first our three-legged dog. Lift up the left leg, bend the knee, stack the hip. Take a breath. And now, step the left foot up between the hands. We'll open to the long edge of our mat into warrior two. Good. Press down into the feet, press down into the shoulders, squeeze the fingers together. Take the gaze down and out over the left arm. Dancing warrior 3 rounds. Flip the left palm up. Inhale, exhale, reach back. Inhale, up and over, extended side ankle. Good. Moving with the breath. Twice more through reverse warrior into extended ankle. One more time. Try to keep the legs still and stationary. Finding side angle pose. Extended. Rotate the heart space open. Beautiful. Stay for one more breath. Good. And now come back into warrior two, but you can go ahead and take the bend out of the front knee in preparation for triangle pose. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, stretch out and over the leg. Extend through the fingertips. So we're stretching through the side body. Good. And now open the arms like wings. Rotate the torso open. Press down into the outer edge of the back foot. Beautiful. Stay for one more breath. On the next breath, come back in to warrior two. Good. From here, we're going to come into a lunge and twist or evolve. To start, to twist the torso, pivot the body, let the back knee come down to the ground. Good. Open the arms out to the side, twist over the left leg. Bend the right elbow, drop it to the outside of the leg, and then make a fist with the top hand. Put it on the bottom hand, wrap the fingers around. And of course, you can lift the back knee up off the floor, look up and over the shoulder. If this twist is too deep or just doesn't work in your body, you can open the arms like wings, placing the right hand on the ground or on a block. Stay for one more breath. And now release the pose, coming either into rest or moving through chaturanga, vinyasa, finding flow, back to downward facing dog. Take a moment in down dog. Inhale fully, exhale completely. Three-legged dog. Use the next breath to inhale up the right leg. Bend the knee, stack the hip. Take a breath. Now warrior two. Step the right foot up between the hands. Open up to the long edge of the mat. Good. Press down into the feet, press down into the shoulders, squeeze the fingers together. Take the gaze down and out over the right arm. Dancing warrior 3 times. Inhale, flip the front palm up. Exhale, reach back. Inhale through center, exhaling out over the right leg. 2 more times. Flow with your breath. Doing the best you can to keep the legs stable and to make sure But the right knee is tracking out over the right toes. This time, landing in extended angle pose. Rotate the heart space open for a few breaths. Beautiful. On the next breath, release, come back into warrior two. Take the bend out of the front knee, let the legs relax. Triangle Trikonasana. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, stretch out and over. Extend through the side body, reach through the fingertips, and then open the arms. Remember that bottom hand can go onto a yoga block if you have one. Rotate the torso open. Press into the outer edge of the back foot. Feel the space and the extension where we're creating and breathe into it. Nourishing it with the light. Beautiful. Let's release the pose. Come back to warrior two on the next breath. And now we'll start to come into our revolving lunge or twist. So begin to turn the torso over the front leg, pivoting onto the back toes, lowering the back knee down to the ground. Use your hands if you need to. All right, so from here, open the arms out to the side, twist the body to the right. Bend the left elbow, drop the left elbow outside the right leg, right knee. Make a fist with the right hand, place it in the left palm, wrap the fingers around. Good, so you can stay here or open the arms more like wings. This back knee can stay on the ground or you can lift it up off the floor. Lots of possibilities and variations. The important thing is to move our spine in all these different directions so that we keep a healthy spinal axis. Everything is connected to the spine. Staying here for another breath or two. Good. On the next breath, release the pose. You can step back to plank to find your flow, or just rest in child's pose. Completely up to you, finding your own practice. And as we complete that movement, if you're moving, you're already resting, stay there. Let's all, once again, find our child's pose, find ourselves surrounded with our cosmic egg of light. Take a moment to mentally return to your intention, dedication to your practice, or just focus on your breath for a few moments here. On our next breath, let's release the pose either onto the belly to do a front body opener here, like upward seal pose or cobra, or if you like, we can come into camel pose, Ustrasana, standing up on the knees. If you like, you can flip around onto your back and do upward facing wheel. Bow pose is another option. Just coming into a little bit of front body opening practice for about 5 breaths. Place the hands, if you're going to do camel pose, up underneath the ribs. Draw the belly in, thrust the pelvis forward, squeeze the elbows together, and reach up and across the chest, reaching out through the crown of the head, squeezing the elbows, the shoulders. Open across the front body wherever you are and stay there for 4. Staying there for 3. Staying for 2. Staying for 1 more breath. On the next breath, come back to a neutral spine. Release into child's pose. Breathe into the lower back, into the lower lobes of the lungs. Relax any tension away. Good. Let's come now onto our back body, however you want to get there. And we'll do a few finishing poses. Bridge pose and shoulder stand. We'll do it for about 10 breaths. You can do one or both of these poses. You can do 5 breaths and then rest and then do 5 more breaths. I'm going to cue us through 5 breaths of bridge and then 5 breaths in shoulder stand. So if you want to come into bridge, lay down on the back and the knees flat to the floor. Feel like you're squeezing something between the legs so that the thighs are engaged. Press down into the feet, press down into the hands, lift the hips up. We can stay here, or if it's okay with your body, interlace the hands under the body and start to roll up a little bit more onto the shoulders. Good. And just breathe. Feel like you have a golf ball or an orange between your chin and chest. So in other words, there is space. The chin is not pressed against the chest. Staying for another breath. So you can continue to practice this pose here. Release and come back into it, or come with me into shoulder stand. Shoulder stand. We'll start by extending both legs straight up to the ceiling. Squeeze the inner thighs together, and then we're going to rock onto the shoulders. Wiggle the elbows up underneath the body. Place the hands under the ribs. Once you see what I'm doing, make sure you're looking straight up towards your toes to avoid harming the neck. Breathing for 5. Breathing for 4. For 3. For 2. 1 more. Releasing either into plow by dropping the toes over the head, or just hug the knees into the chest for a few breaths. Fish pose. Make a triangle between thumb and index finger of each hand. Place it under the sacrum. You can also do this with the hips on the floor. And then send the legs out and away from the body. You may have to adjust. Land on your forearms. Press the chest open. Reaching back through the crown of the head. The crown of the head may or may not touch the floor. Mine actually does not touch the floor, and that's okay. Press the chest open, big stretch across the throat, and even the front body, across the shoulders in the front. Good. Release the pose. Land on the back for a moment. Relax. Let all the tension and tightness melt away into the ground. Let's do our spinal twist. We'll start with a figure 4 stretch. Bend both knees. Pick up the right foot, cross the right ankle in front of the right knee. And lift the legs up into the chest, grabbing onto the left leg. As we pull the left leg towards us, we want to push the right knee away from us and take a few breaths here. I like to activate my feet by flexing them, which means drawing the toes towards the shins. Beautiful. Now release the left foot to the floor. Cross the right thigh all the way over or uncross it entirely for spinal twist. Scooch the hips to the right a bit. And now take your left hand, draw both knees over to the left. Open the right arm out to the side. Turn your head, look out over the right arm. Breathing 5 breaths as we do this supine twist. Good. You can release the twist on the next breath back to center. All right, this time pick up the left foot, cross the left ankle in front of the left knee, flexing the foot, pick up the right leg, grab the right leg, pull the right leg towards the body as we press the left knee away. I'm kind of using my left elbow to help press. And then breathe into this stretch of the hips for 5 breaths. All right, let's release the right foot back to the floor. And then either uncross this leg or continue to cross it all the way over for twisting. Now scooch the hips to the left. Use your right hand, draw both knees down and over to your right side. Open your left arm out to the side, let it rest on the floor. Turn the head, look out over the left arm. 5 breaths, twisting. On the next breath, release the pose, release the twist, uncross, unwind. As we arrive back in center, hug the knees into the chest, rock a little bit on the back from side to side. Maybe make a few circles with the ankles. If you enjoy happy baby, grab onto the feet. Use happy baby pose to breathe into the hips and open a little more. And then find whatever you need to make yourself comfortable in Shavasana. Maybe a blanket would be nice. If you like, putting a pillow or a bolster under the knees. The important thing is to be able to relax as completely as possible. And to keep the heart and the head in the same plane, which is why it's okay to do legs up the wall if you like, or lay on the belly or the side. I generally prefer to lay on my back body. You may also like to turn off the lights in your space or cover the eyes. Come into a place of rest, Shavasana. And once you've arrived, allow the body to get heavier and heavier into the ground. Wiggle the tongue around inside the mouth and then let it rest behind the lower set of the teeth. Let the breathing just naturally flow. Let all the tiny muscles, ligaments, and tendons in the feet and in the hands relax. Have the sense of muscle falling away from the bones in the legs and in the arms. Relaxing the legs, relaxing the arms. Have the sense of the eyes dropping heavier and heavier into the eye sockets. Completely relaxing, releasing the face, the jaw, the throat, the neck. Back of the head heavy, upper back heavy. Hips heavy. Arms heavy and legs heavy. Things that we think of as solid are actually comprised mostly of space. The distance between the atoms in our body is like the distance between the earth and the sun. We are mostly space traversed by streams of energy. Our real body is made of light. That light radiates outward and affects things around us. In turn, we are affected by the light of others. Imagine and feel a light from above, perhaps the divine, radiating down over you, running through you and washing you clean of any negativity, revealing the light within your own heart. Feel that light expanding around you, merging with the light from the heavens, encasing you in a cosmic egg of protection. Affirm that only loving thoughts can be released from your egg of light or penetrated from the outside. And once again, that's from Pocket Full of Miracles. Begin to deepen the breath. Reawaken the body at the edges. If you like, stretch your body out long like an arrow. Bend the knees, place the feet flat to the floor if they're not already there. Bring the palms of the hands together and start to vigorously rub. And then cup the eyes once you feel like you have some heat in the hands. Blink the eyes open gently into the hands, letting the light in slowly. Move the body now into a comfortable seat, and we'll close our practice. As you arrive and seated, an invitation to you to soften the gaze or close the eyes. Let the palms rest in the lap, Hands on the knees, connecting index finger and thumb, or draw the palms together in Anjali Mudra at the heart space. Take a breath in, hold the breath in, exhale with a smile, offering gratitude. And if you'd like to join me, making the sacred sound current Om, a resonance of peace and protection that also strengthens that cosmic egg of light in which we've encased ourselves. We'll breathe together on the next inhale. Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And if you like, bowing to the teacher within, closing our practice. Thank you.